Welcome to the Underground Nation podcast, where we dive into the stories and insights of those making an impact in the industry. Today, we have Joyn Che, a marketing expert with a background in the music business who now helps artists navigate the financial side of their careers. From getting properly registered to securing copyrights and forming an LLC, Che breaks down key steps that can set underground artists up for success. If you're serious about building a lasting career in music, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. Let's dive in.
Che, this has been a long time coming. You and I having this conversation, I feel it's way overdue in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I say that just because when you and I first met, we were both into the music world.
Yep.
And now we're coming back together in the financial world.
Yeah.
I thought that was very intriguing how you found your own path, and as did I.
Definitely. I'm all ready for it. So I'm ready to take you through the journey that, I've been in and try to help others and encourage them. And, it's real life out here.
Yeah, absolutely. It is real life out here.
Yeah.
And we are real people talking about real problems and real obstacles that we are really overcame or are currently overcoming.
Right.
And that's why this podcast is called Everyday Heroes, Unmasking Triumphs and Trials, because every day I come across what people call as ordinary people. But in my opinion, they're more than ordinary. every person has their own story. They're just either hold back or don't have the platform to tell it. But I know each individual I come in contact with on a daily basis, they go through their own struggles, they overcome their own problems. And this is a platform where they can talk about it. And I appreciate you taking the time, Che, to speak with us tonight.
Yeah, of course. This is a pleasure, a great opportunity. I'm just honored to, make the time and be on time. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely. It's very important to be on time and to always show up when you say you're going to, and try to stick to your word and be the person that you envision.
Right. I agree.
With that being said, give the world a proper introduction.
What's up, guys? My name is Che. I'm coming to you guys from Denver, Colorado. I'm pleasured to be here with Ryan Chavez, talking to you about entrepreneur, music, booking, talent, business venture, and the financial world, how to support your financial generational wealth. We're going to be diving right into it. So I thank you for listening to me. And yeah, let's get to it.
Absolutely. Nothing left to do it but to do it.
Yeah.
But listen to everything you just said. You opened up so many different realms of expertise that you are involved in. Can you tell us a little more about yourself and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So pretty much, I think I've always had that dream to do so. When I was a kid, my grandparents and my mom, my dad, they would buy me like computer sets. I would pretend that I was like owning a business and I had admin work to do. And that was just something to do as growing up, because sometimes I didn't want to play with no toys. And sometimes I wanted to like be, that grown up world. Like I would like design graphics through Paint. I don't know if you guys remember, but the app Paint that's in the windows, and I would play around with that. And then I would like make computers, I just always been into it. And then music was something I was always into as well, and learning and educating myself. So what got me more inspired to the entrepreneur world was I knew I didn't want to work for under people. I wanted to work with people. I wanted to be able to help people. And there was a time when I was sitting at my desk back then, and I literally was thinking like, dang, what the boss do? Where he at?
All right, yeah.
So I started asking questions, and I was like, they were like, well, all he does is, we see him once in a while, we say hello, and he comes in and we have dinners and they go on vacations and stocks and trades. And I was like, well, I want to do that. I want to be that, like, why am I here working like bare minimum? So I started really thinking like, what am I good at? I started pouring into myself. And I remember I sat and I prayed. I went to work one day and I was like, God, show me if this is the thing for me. I'm already developing in a lot of areas,
Right.
And I just remember I told the story. I got hired. Let's talk about the story. So I got hired. I asked for the position, and I then went back to the job knowing that it wasn't right for me, just to see, if this was it. So I started having faith, and I knew I wanted to say more. I felt limited when it came down to my ideas. So it then made me feel like, well, I have something to say. And so being that, I just took that courage, and that's what really inspired me to be entrepreneur, because I seen more into myself that I could give to the world or our community versus just sitting behind a desk and just doing only the bare minimum,
Yeah, absolutely. So what was that desk job that you were sitting at that you were questioning the boss?
So
was it for a corporation or for a mom and pop shop or?
No. So I have a history of being a recruiters and sales and temp agencies. That was my background.
Oh, okay. Temp agencies.
Executive assistants for different states. I actually still do that, but I do it from home. And I partnered with the tech company to help with recruitment. But I utilized that skill and said, okay, if I could do that there, I think I could do it from home,
And ever since then, you've been. So when did you start working from home?
I started working from home 2020. Well,
most of us started in 2020.
Yeah. So, prior to work, so I know the next question is coming, so I don't want to give too much, but prior to working from home 2020, I was doing state work with regulatory, like scheduling state exams. Mm-hmm. So, and then prior to that, that's when I really got into like knowing like I was an entrepreneur when I was 20, and that's when I had my first business. I was a nanny.
So you just mentioned nanny. So was this your first entrepreneurial venture?
My first venture was being a nanny because I'm the oldest on my mom's side. So
I'm the oldest too.
Yeah. So you know how it is. We was
on
always
my mom and dad's side for me though.
Yeah. Oh, see, I found my sister. I have another sister that's older than me. I found her 3 years ago, but for a while I was the oldest.
Congratulations! Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yep. She lives back in Washington. It's pretty interesting. She's she's like a year and a half. We call each other twin because we're kind of close in age, but It's pretty cool. But as far as my entrepreneur venture, when I took business seriously, I know my mom, she used to give me babysitting money from my sister, but I got married when I was 20 and I got divorced when I was 22. And you were 20? Yes. Secret.
You got married young. That's just my opinion. I think that's really young.
Yeah. I mean, it had its time. It had its lessons.
Okay.
And blessings in disguise. But I mean, I'm happy where I'm at now. I'm engaged again. So
hey, congratulations.
Yeah, we're good there. We're good. Sometimes you got to let people go when they, you can't take everybody with you. And you find that person that understands. And the person I'm with now, he understands. And that's all that matters to me. So
yes, absolutely. So during the 2 years of being married and divorced, is this the same time period you were trying to develop your nanny business?
Yeah, so basically what happened was I married into the military.
Oh.
And we got stationed in Misawa, Japan.
Was he abusive?
No, not at all.
He try to move you around everywhere?
No, not at all. I've known him my whole high school, and like it was just, you know,
those your high school sweethearts.
Yeah, but we wanted just to venture out, you know, and we had different motives, different ideas, and he also wanted to go back home. He was a dual citizenship, so you know that went there. So he went back home, but. Yeah, it went. It had its dues. Like I said, it was cool. Right. But anyhow, when I got there, I had to figure out how I was going to make some income because in Japan, no offense, shout out to Japan, Misawa, I love you guys, Air Force Base 35 Squadron, hello. But the thing is, it wasn't making enough money. I was only getting paid $238 a month, and to me, I just kind of felt like that wasn't enough for what I wanted. Like I had to come back to the States because I had my friend passed away during that time. So I had to figure, you know, like my aunt had health problems. It was a lot going on personally for me that I was just like, I got to go back home. This is different. I'm in another country. You know, this is just unfamiliar. So I was okay with it. I'm young, you know, we're good. But what really got me was, again, like investing into what I was good at. So I had a friend that was military and nanny. She told me, you know, like, hey, you can go on base and you can nanny or you can watch people or babysit kids. Well, I'm doing this full time. So I ended up making a business out of it from Facebook. And that's when I got really, really popular on Facebook. I was servicing about 100 to 200 families from on base, off base. And wow. Yeah, and what happened was how I got into full time. I was working at a bowling alley. There was a family that I was already doing part-time nanny for, and she was a Filipino family, very sweet. But we both worked at the same job, and she's like, I need someone to watch my boys. Like, you're my sitter. I can't have, like, I will pay you. So she offered me $1,000, and she's like, I'll pay you $1,000. And I was like, that means I have to quit this job. And she was like, yeah, that means you have to quit the job. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm only getting paid $238. Like, bring it down. Bring it down. Wow.
Looking for a reason.
Yes. I was like, okay, that sounds like a bet. So we go into the office. We let the people know. Like, they're like, Miss Joyner, you just got this job, ma'am. And I'm like, I understand, you know, but, you know, it's just not for me. I'd rather, you know, help her out. And that's what I've been doing. And right after that, I went straight to her house and watched the boys for the rest of the night. She was paying me $1,000 for like the month, maybe $13,000 or not $13,000, $1,300. And then on top of that, I was like, all right, well, let me duplicate. Let me get more families, you know, let me help more families. Okay. So ended up helping about 200 families. That's when I made my first almost close to $50,000 by myself in revenue. I had school debt that was just out. Like, I went to school for massage therapy during that time as well. But I was like, I don't want to touch people. I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with that. So I ended up was like, all right, I got to pay the debt. So I paid the debt. I have other debt. And then I was like, I need to come back to the States. And that was about $3,000 to come back. So I was really in my hustle mode. I wasn't really thinking about like how much I was making. I was really just like trying to be a service. Like, I would watch families, kiddos, like after work, help them with tutoring, you know, like just be that big sister that I know I couldn't be, but as a nanny service, you know? Yeah. And so I was very popular on base, not only from nanny, but also from my music and my talent. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, I would perform, and I also would help families with their, you know, kiddos. And I enjoyed that a lot because I still have contact with those kiddos and with the parents. It's pretty cool. They're like, oh, you live in the States, and it's cool because there's like, oh, you live in the same state. That's cool, you know. So sometimes we have that bypass. But that's when I started realizing, like, all right, I don't need to work for other people. I need to have that faith and understand, like sometimes you got to take the risk, and I took that risk and I ended up duplicating with helping others. And that's what took me into the entrepreneur journey.
So being a nanny, you're able to help 200 families by watching their kiddos.
Right.
Right. So when you use that money to bring you back to the States.
Yep.
And so did you carry on with the nanny business here in the States, or did you switch over to something else at that point?
No. So that's where it got hard.
Attention artists, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. The local booking agency is your gateway to success. Elevate your financial future with expert credit guidance, secure top-tier bookings, and protect your music legacy with our free music protection checklist. We don't just connect, we empower you. Whether you're building generational wealth or securing your next gig, we have your back. Take control of your future today. Visit the local booking agency now at thelocalbookingagency.com and start your journey to success.
So when I came back to the States, it's different when you're on base because everyone's so close in community. Everybody know each other and they trust you a little bit more because they see you on an everyday basis. And then word of mouth, same for the same town. It's like you're in the same town, so it's not hard to not know, especially because the diversity there. So coming back to the States, not everybody gonna trust you with their kids because of the crime and all that stuff that's so ridiculous here. Right. Yeah. It's so different. Like, you go to Japan, I don't even think they have crime. I don't even know if they know what that is. I think when you go... Yeah, it's very clean there. You got to visit Japan. If you haven't visited, it's an experience. You're going to be like, it's a culture shock. When I say culture shock, you're like, wow, like they need to bring this in Colorado. Just because the calmness, the violence, you don't hear much about it. You'll watch Japanese news and you don't really see like what we see here. It's sad to say. I'm sorry. And I'm just like, I'm happy that I had that experience, but it really opened my eyes in a different way to help people because I seen the difference on like how people were struggling here mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, you know what I mean? Right, and yeah. It's something that I was like, wow, I can like definitely take this energy, bring it here, you know, be a light, you know? So going back to it, helping those 200 families, like, just shaped my journey to like, doing that. So after I got done doing that, 2019, I moved back. I was only into music. I was looking for jobs. I was kind of frustrated because I'm like, dang, I just made $50,000. Like, why should I go back? So I'm over here living comfortably. My savings is up. I'm cool, chilling. And to me, I was like, dang, I don't know what to do with this money. This is a lot of money. Like, what am I going to do? So I ended up getting a condo. I ended up getting the car, of course, getting everything furnished. I still have money left. And I just started thinking like other ways, like what can I do to like invest this money to duplicate it so I don't have to ever work again. You know what I mean? Right. Like, yeah, so I don't have to like, you know, it's interesting. You still work $50,000 a year in a job, but I don't know. I think it just hit different because you think about your investments more versus just a paycheck. See, when you get the money, it comes in portions. But when you're like, and it's both ways. You get money, it comes in portions. But when you start to like see, like, dang, like I might get this amount this time, and then I might get less this time, and I might get this amount next. Like, it makes you want to hold on to it a little bit more and invest a little bit wiser because it's not just a paycheck. You can't depend on the same amount each time. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, sometimes you got to negotiate. Sometimes you got to, you know, do some discounts and throw it here and there. So you have to like price it differently. So, yeah. So after that, I ended up working at a what's it called? I ended up working at that scheduling center for testing, and that's when COVID hit. And so during that time, like, my funds are running low. I'm gonna be honest. You know, like, I think I just like was just splurging because I was just like, okay, I'm swimming in money. Like, I'm not thinking too much. Like, debt is paid off, credit's cool. I got money in savings. Like, we cool, but we have money to live off of. Thank God. And it was just taking that small step of leap of faith. You hear what I'm saying, right, Ryan? That small step of leap of faith.
I hear
so
you.
The thing is, like, COVID hit, you know, like, I still was not like trying to work. I got pregnant during that time, and I'm like, dang, like, life hit me. I was like, okay, shoot, like, I don't know. I started panicking. I really did. I started panicking. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I'm thinking at this time, my fiance, which you know who is, but we're thinking like, okay, what do we do? What do we do? So we started thinking about hosting events and talent.
So
and marketing.
your boyfriend, he's entrepreneurial as well.
Yes, he's a hustler just like me. I love it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Just because, look, it's flexible. We can work together and pull some strings. Like, okay, I need you to work with me, not against. You know, so I love that. So, yeah. So he definitely was a big impact as well. It's like being that push when it came down to like, okay, like really tapping into what you're doing. Like,
so what did you both decide to do? So it was 2020, pandemic's happening, you find out you're pregnant, you're at a job that you don't really like, but you're doing it because funds are running low.
Right.
So what did you both end up pursuing at that point?
So the job ended up closing because they just shut down the company. So that was one of the companies that shut down, unfortunately. So at that time, we needed to pull in money for rent. And I calculated how much we needed to pull in for rent. And so we ended up doing an event. Shout out to Rodney Dean, Colorado Liberty Leave. We ended up doing that, and he gave us a space to host an event. We had vendors and we had some local artists and talents. In exchange for being a part, Rodney helped with sponsorship pretty much, and we just had a good time. But we made money off of hosting events and putting on shows. And so the fact that I was able to book and be organized and I used my admin skills into that, it made people trust the process. And then on top of that, people made money on top of that. You know, you book with me, like, I don't want to keep your profits. I want you to win. I'm not there to keep all your money. Yes, book your space, book your slot, but you're there to make money. You know what I mean? I don't do you need a split and all that. No, because everybody got to get paid at the end of the day. And so when people seen that they were winning, they started seeing like, okay, she's serious, you know. And I started being taken seriously when it came down to that. So I ended up doing more events. And at that time, we still had money. Like, the fact we were really, that's why I said it was God's given. Like, the fact that I made that much money from just nannying and I was able to save, I just held on. I don't really, my life is minimum. So I don't really do much to like do the most, like even now. You know, it doesn't take that much. I live in the small, like downtown, everything is like close nearby. Like, all I do is scooter. You know, I might take a walk or jog, and if I go out to like, if I have business meetings or so, it's Zoom and email transaction, you know, like it's not that much for me to like live life. So, you know, like my spendings weren't so big at that point. So we were able to like move around and still be nice and set and well. But at the time I was like, okay, I still want to be busy. I still want to be able to help people. Let me make an agency out of this. Because there was a time where I felt like I didn't have that opportunity. Like I would get signed or like I think I would get signed. I'm not sure, and I don't want to disclose or expose that much of the music industry because it's a hot topic, But the thing is, it made me realize, like, hey, if they can do that, then I want to be able to open opportunities and doors for people who don't have those skills, who are trying to get there, and allow them to understand that they're worth it, that their talent's not a waste. Because a lot of people I've seen, like, that was in COVID, people were pushing music, that's all they had, but no payment, no like real development. Like, it was kind of like everybody was just kind of like trying to gather up music and trying to put things out because that's all we knew what to do. And when I start seeing, like, okay, well, how do you pay yourself? Like, how do you be successful into this? Like, I want to get paid. I'm a musician as well. So I want to be able to know how I get paid from all of this and how to be secured. And that's when I opened my booking agency. But then not only that, I wanted to be able to teach others why finances and generational wealth is important, and how the budget and the trust and what's real, what's not. A lot of people get scammed from all of this, and it's crazy. It's like, dang, I didn't know. I'm really trying to show you guys, like, this is where it's at, and other people are like, I don't know. Can't speak for everybody else, but I know for me, it's like trying to really encourage people, like, hey, this is something that you can do. I mean, like, a lot of people are stuck in the old ways, like, you have to, like, live 9 to 5, 401k, and you have to do it like this way. You have to, like, wait until you're 65 to 70 years old to retire. No, you don't. You can start now. You can start now. So, yep.
That's incredible. That's a lot. I'll be straight up and say that's a lot. Your story is the opposite of mine. In 2020, I had the exact opposite. I was doing events prior to 2020, and during the pandemic, the venues I was working with shut down. I lost deposits. That was pretty much the end of my music streak that I was ongoing with the events and everything else. That's pretty much when it ended. And towards the end of 2020 is when I got laid off. So I had the exact opposite effect of what you and your man were achieving. You guys were achieving success and being able to book events during the pandemic. I'm like, how the heck did you even do that? Because I was stuck. I was losing deposits, and you saying that, I'm like, what? Please fill me in how you were able to do that. I know you said you had sponsors and they helped you with some space, so I guess you definitely had probably a little more support on that, and it sounded like.
Yeah, I mean, everybody still had to wear their mask. We still kept it a small space, but everyone had, it was outside. Interestingly, it was outside.
Oh, outside event.
Yeah. So we had some vendors there, and we had some people that were like, walking by, talking to people. People were enjoying them. We just had to enforce the masks and the safety of that. But I think people during that time really needed funds. COVID really hit people differently with the finances, and some people didn't have it. Some people had to really figure out how could they expand their finances because jobs were not a thing. Like, you really had to figure out how are you going to eat the next day, or what was your next meal sometimes, or do you have enough toiletries? Do you have enough anything for your family to live by? It really hit a different way. So I think when I put out that opportunity, like, hey, we're doing vending events, and we're going to book artists to perform, to give them the opportunity still and have that relationship still building, it opened doors for those who were like, hey, yeah, we need this. And people I think one of our vendors said they made close to $500 to $600, which that's a lot for 4 hours. It was only 4-hour event. And so I heard some people made 300. I heard some people make 500, and they only paid a small vending slot fee. So just imagine you're getting your money back and some more. You know what I mean? And I think that's where my mind was. Like, it wasn't to gain money off. Yes, we needed money too, but I wanted them to know, hey, you guys can make some food, sell that plate, and make the double the money that you invested in. And it made them feel good at the end, because they're like, dang, like, now I can open up. Now I want to know how to open a business or continue this, or what can I do to really get earnings from this,
Absolutely. So, man, I feel like it. I wish I could just step into your brain and just see everything that you're seeing right now, because it just sounds like you're able to juggle a lot, and that tells me you're very organized. I don't know if you're slightly OCD, but it takes a lot of organization to be able to do all this that you're talking about, and you're operating in such diversity in so many different categories, from music, being a booking agent, and you just start talking about education, wealth education. How do you juggle these different roles today?
Tired of the mainstream? Welcome to Underground Nation, where raw talent, real stories, and independent artists shine. Discover the next wave of underground music, exclusive content, and unfiltered culture. We bring you the artists who refuse to conform, the voices that demand to be heard. From live performances to exclusive interviews, this is where hip-hop and metal music lives and breathes. Join the movement, support the underground, and experience music without limits. Visit underground-nation.com. Real, raw, unstoppable.
So, juggling everything. Every morning I wake up and I write down what I want to do.
For the day?
For the day, yes. And that's even like how many sales or how many people I need to get in contact with, or return the calls, the follow-ups. Every day I just write down what I want to do. Every morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Then I get dressed and ready for the day. And by 9, that's when I get on the phones or do emails, follow up, schedule, marketing, promo.
Now, when you're on the phone and hitting emails, is this a cold call reach out?
Yeah, it's follow-ups. Yes, cold call. So
cold call and follow. So prospecting and following up with folks you talked to in the recent past.
Correct, or that implied.
But is this to musicians or?
This is for everything.
Everything.
So yeah, so I have the same system for everything, because it all leads to the same thing. You got to get on the phone, tell people what you're doing, the opportunity. You got to email them what you're doing, and then apply the services. Make sure they get to the right place. Make sure they get to the right information, and they're well informed. It's all the same concept. You know what I mean? So. To put it all under one umbrella, I have a website, check it out, called thelocalbookingagency.com. That goes over finances, where you can apply to learn about finances, where you can learn about there's open gigs, how to develop registration, all the 9 for that I offer all in one, with music and business. And it's really dedicated for musicians, independent musicians, and for small businesses that are wanting to develop as well.
That's incredible.
So I managed to put it all
under one. Local booking agency.
The localbookingagency.com, yes.
Okay. I got it. Very cool. And so, again, this website is more driven to musicians?
To both. So what I realized, again, that with musicians, the development and registration process, nobody really talks about that. And so there's a lot of musicians that still wonders on how to register their music properly. And then also with businesses,
like ASCAP, BMI.
Correct. Correct. Registration, copyrights, song view, and distribution. They're all different things, but some people only do just distribution and they're like, well, why am I not getting paid? Well, there's still other things you have to do, like listings, like it's just more into it to like really push your music or push your songs to really grow that audience that they're looking for. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Being able to coach and be able to teach that's what that's for in that agency. And then providing opportunities. Again, we book events. And so helping people do that and finding ways that they can grow their profits or their revenue. That's what we really focus on. So and same with the small businesses.
It sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you could take a normal everyday person that has no education, like a musician, say he's 19, 20 years old, has got the fire in him, right, to go out and be a performer, but doesn't know the business on the back end.
Correct.
It sounds like you're able to provide them the education and make them aware of the cost it's going to take for them to get properly registered, for them to be able to get booked on certain showcases, be able to even possibly do their own event with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if they don't have the money to do so, you turn right around and say, well, you need to earn some extra money, and this is how you could do so.
Yep. So you get both ends. Okay, well,
tell me a little more about that. So say I'm coming up to you and I'm like, I want to do all this, Shay. I want to be a performing artist, but I don't got the money.
Well, so when it comes down to starting something, we didn't have the money. We had ideas. We had goals, right? So
yeah,
it's like,
but if I could work from home,
yeah,
and earn some money with you, I mean, please,
yeah,
put a game on this.
So I mean, it's just really putting a price and a value on what you're doing, and then having people engage with it. So say you don't have the money. All right, cool. Well, let's make a post and see. Let's make a post to see how many people react to your post. All right, let's make a link, just a pay link to show people that you have pricing with the description. Right now, that's all you need, and you can do that from your phone. You don't even need a computer. And so once you do that, you make a post, you get interaction, you start sending people out what you're doing, and then you post your link in that description so people can click and they can see more information about the product or the service that you're offering. Bam, you'd have made a sale. That's simple. Because
what if I don't have a product or a service? Am I able to join your team from working from home?
Yeah, so I know you said, for musicians and saying if you didn't have any money and you start, you get a link. If your product is your songs, your product is booking a show. If you didn't have a product and you're like, okay, I want to be a business owner. Well, what do you like to do first? I can't. Let's talk about what you like to do first. What's your goals? What are you into? Well, I like podcasting.
I want to perform. I have some music I want to get out.
Cool. So the process with that is, let's get you registered. Let's start your development process first. Then we can get that link going. Then we can push your music. Then we can push everything because now you're registered. Now you have a booking link. Now you have tickets that's behind you. Now you have a marketing team because we're doing promo behind you. Now you know how to invest your money. Now your credit's going up because you're in the program. You know what I mean? And starting with no money, again, you push something, you make some money, and that's how you start money. Make a link. It doesn't matter if it's GoDaddySites.com/your name. Once you get the funds to pay for that link or domain, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Linktree /X marketing. I have definitely amounts of different ways you can make income off of that website or that link. But because I have that link set up, no matter who clicks on that link, called affiliated marketing pretty much, you can click on the link, they sign up, you get paid from it. You know what I mean? Then you have money in your pocket. You can start from $0. You just have to make a link, push yourself, push your product, push what you're good at, and then inform people what you're doing, get people involved, have them buy, and bam, you made a sale.
Wow. That's incredible. So you're able to walk them through the process and streamline it.
Exactly.
Which of your ventures are you most passionate about, and why?
I say this one. I think this one I'm very passionate about. I used to be scared of sales and marketing just because I knew I was good at it, and I would be so frustrated if I didn't get it. But I would keep applying myself, and I realized each time I did that, it made me think a little differently about the approach I would take towards other things. So definitely this one. I think I also expand more with people. I connect with people more based on a real experience versus a sell, and actually trying to help others. Like, I think I've learned a little bit more about connecting in relationship in this time around in my journey.
Understood. So when it comes to helping someone on the financial end and wealth education, what skills and services do you currently provide?
It's like with wealth education and generational wealth, the skills that I'm providing is pretty much bringing awareness that being generational wealthy is a thing and it's possible, especially at a young age. So the skills that I would say that I'm helping others with is understanding the concept of generational wealth, because we don't talk about it enough. We heard the word before, but to really highlight why finances is important and to live all the way to your potential, not having to be in this rat race that they talk about. Just having the confidence, okay, well, if I invest into this is what's going to grow. Understanding that money is a tool, I think what I really, I treat money differently now. Like I said, I use it as a tool to make more money. And with the finances and generational wealth, when you build your credit and you want to develop a business or even personal finances, if you show the banks that you're reliable and you have accountability, that will make them want to invest into you more and give you those loans that people are like, well, how do you get that? And it all starts with your credit. So understanding that one financial piece, and then understanding that money is a tool when you invest into it to make more money, like stocks, property, anything that's okay, if I put $2,500 in a property and I rent it out for $4,000, I'm making back $2,000 in profit and $2,500, in mortgage rates or so forth, and it's to add more money to your pocket and then invest into it more to duplicate in a certificate deposit account where it grows over time, or a stocks account where it grows over time when you don't touch it, or a trust account, anything, that will make more money, because in the end you want to be able to leave your family that something to help take care of the benefit, insurance, life insurance is important. And some people don't understand that credit is important. Some people don't understand that until it's too late, and they're like, dang, I should have invested. And so the skill that I think that I'm really adamant about is using money as a tool and really building your credit to support your finances so you're not in a hole.
Oh, that's incredible. So you're straight helping people fix their credit and then guided them to an investment vehicle that seems to be fit for their situation.
Correct. Everyone's people need help with direction sometimes, and I'm not trying to say I know it all, but I do know where I want to be, and I don't want to be in debt. Debt is cool. It's how you use debt. But if it's not used the right way of putting it, pretty much playing Monopoly, you get money, you take it back, you get money, you take it back, if you're not exchanging it, then it's kind of you're going to keep falling in a hole, because you gotta know that, like I said, money is a tool. You gotta know how to invest into it. Invest into things that's gonna grow your revenue.
Absolutely. And so you just said you could kind of find yourself falling into a hole. Have you personally faced any setbacks or failures, and how did you turn those experiences into learning opportunities?
Oh yeah, all the time. I learn every day. My setbacks is being consistent. I mean, people be like, "You're so consistent." I wish I was more consistent. I wish there was more of me. That's why I feel like I have to be organized. Like I have to have that, the discipline to really run it, because people they come to me. If I build a team around me, they're going to look to me for answers, right? Because it's something I built on my own. Or not on my own, but with my partner too. It's something that we built. And so like, they're going to look for us like, okay, so what's the next step? So the setback that I've learned is consistency. Being transparent. I can come off on assertive, but when I come to assertive, because I want people to take me seriously when I'm telling them these things, because I don't like to waste breath. Right. I'll tell you once. If you're going to listen, you're going to listen. If not, you're not. I'm not the type to pull tooth. I am where I am. I'm happy where I am. I'm here to help people. I'm here to get people to the next step, to the next level. Now, if you don't want it, that's on you. If you don't, you don't. But I'm going to still be here when you're ready. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Bounce Ball Boogie is dropping new music, exclusive videos, and behind-the-scenes content, and you don't want to miss it. Subscribe now to stay locked in for official music videos, raw freestyles, and the next big drops. Be part of the movement as Bounce Ball Boogie takes things to the next level with fresh sounds, deep stories, and visuals that hit hard. Don't wait until everyone else is talking about it. Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The journey is just getting started, and you need to be here for it. Visit youtube.com/bounceballboogie.
Why do you feel people are so weary about having these conversations, or feel like all these conversations about money and finances are a scam?
I got called a scam. I get called scam all the time. I think because of consistency. I feel sometimes like I understand, because I still am biased as well. Like, you can tell if someone's a real person or not. Mm-hmm. I always be the one to exchange my phone number. I think when you hear someone's voice, that gives you a little bit more comfort. Like, okay, I kind of understand what their mindset is, and then maybe schedule a follow-up Zoom so they can see who I am, and then documents to support whatever I was offering. And I feel like that's the most beneficial protocol you can do to show people that you're there for them, versus someone that's not giving you any phone number, that's beating around the bush. Sometimes I have to send voice messages to let them know, hey, no, I'm not a scam, ma'am. I'm serious. And if you want to call me, here's my phone number. Yeah. But just letting them know, being transparent. Once you're transparent, and you open up those doors of being comfortable of exchange, like, hey, I got your phone number, you got my phone number, or here's an application, I'll give you a call so we can discuss a little bit more. Once you have that process going, then people can trust you a little bit more about what they're getting themselves into.
Right. That's the first thing that I do, is show credibility.
Yeah.
You have to, before we talk about anything, here's my state license. You could take a picture of that. You can keep it for your record, show it to your family.
Right.
I'm currently life licensed. I'm working on my securities license, so I could do investment accounts like you're talking about.
That's awesome.
I'm on the phone every day, just like you're talking about. So I definitely understand the grind that goes in that people don't see. And I had to create a whole website just to validate my credibility, because people were so gun ho to be like, nope, I can't talk. They wouldn't give you a chance.
Yeah.
But once you send them a text message, like, this is who I am, visit my website, and then you can see my state license. Now all of a sudden they're like, they open up just a little bit more, just enough so we can have a conversation. And that's really all I'm looking for, is that conversation.
Right.
Man. So what advice would you give to someone who's looking to improve their credit or start their journey towards financial independence?
I would say the first thing you got to do is invest. Don't be scared to put your money into something that's going to benefit you in the future. Credit, it takes time to put it on there. It takes time to get it off.
Why does it take so long?
It took the same amount of time. You put it on there, the same amount of time it come off, pretty much. It takes time because the credit bureaus have to look over the dispute letters. Most times when people send disputes, they have to put it in letters. Now, with the program that I'm in, they send it all at once, which I appreciate. But they have 45 days to respond, really 30 days, and then 15 days through mailing, 2 weeks for mailing process. They have 45 days to respond. If they don't respond, they're supposed to take it off the credit. Well, sometimes people get those debt letters come back like, no, you still owe us. Now you have to show proof of identity, or if it's identity theft or so forth. And then from there, then they will decide if they're going to remove it or not. So it's a process, and sometimes you don't have to show anything, if you're like, I have no association to this account, or this is an inaccuracy, that's mainly what you're doing. You're trying to just prove that that's not the account don't belong to you. And so that's what people try, when you remove negative items from your credit, you're trying to get out of the debt. Now, some people don't want to pay their debt. That's why they always try to look to find someone to at least get their debt. But what they have to understand is we work with settlements, to also help you with that. Sometimes they're not, because if you are the ownership of the debt and you didn't claim identity theft, or you didn't claim that the debt wasn't for you, you are liable to make those payments. Now, if you can't afford that, that's where the settlement come in. That's where you're like, okay, I can pay only this much amount a month or something like that. Or I'll pay half of this I'll pay 75 or 35% of this. But if I do that, can you drop the debt completely? You know what I mean? It's negotiation, but it's to get the entry off of your report. And sometimes, like I said, it slips off depending if it's inaccurate. If they find inaccurate information, it can be disputed. But if you are the responsible party for it, then they're either going to give you a settlement, and either you're going to decide to pay it or let it be building up on your credit. You know what I mean? Or you just say it's identity theft, but you got to make, that at that point it's proof of identity. You know what I mean? And it takes long because a lot of people try to get out of that. They don't want to pay, but they also will be like, well, I am the owner of the account, but I just don't want to pay it. Well, either you claim that you're identity theft, or you make a payment arrangement and try to get it off your credit, or you try to dispute it upon inaccuracy. But you got to do something, or else it's just going to be there.
Right. So when you that was kind of my question earlier. So when you come across a person like that, where you're showing them that if you take care of this debt, things can be better, but they either don't want to because they can't. It's usually because they can't.
Right.
So do you show them a way that they can earn money by working with you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I definitely show them ways that they can earn money. The program I'm in, it has a team built behind it. And with that team, it's not just me, which I appreciate, but I do get to be able to show and introduce people to like-minded people like myself who've been in the same situation or similar that want to grow generationally with wealthy.
All right. Incredible. So what would you say as of right now, what are your long-term goals as an entrepreneur?
My long-term goals is to have my business operational. I don't want to be the one. Look, Ryan, look, we get old, man.
Trust me, I'm noticing.
So I want to be able to, open the doors to create more job opportunity within the business. As it is an agency, I do want more doors open, like press or social media or booking or teaching or coaching or anything with music development. I do want to open those doors. Okay. So making the business operational. I do want to open a building where, pretty much a state where, it's a whole production company. That's my husband's dream, so putting it together and being able to collab with that and growing that way and showing out for our state, Colorado. I'm a native here. So, being a part of just being that inspiration of showing people, hey, we're not only African American. I know that it shouldn't matter, but it's something big because a lot of us don't touch that, or some of us don't know. And so to show people hey, there's businesses that are losing business and we are the future to grow more businesses. So to be that inspiration, to be that influencer, to show people hey, we need more businesses, whatever you got going. I don't care if there's 3 different types of cookies of a small business doing the same thing. We need them, and we need them to have these buildings that are vacant. Some of these buildings are run down, they're vacant, empty, and it's come on, we're the future, y'all. Kmart didn't just start just because, and they didn't end either. They ended, of course. Remember Kmart, Kmart, Blockbuster. We have these things, we have these businesses, but we're the future to keep it going. We're the future to keep it going. So that's what I plan on doing with continue my entrepreneurship, expanding, definitely.
Incredible. Well, we definitely wish you much success in all of your endeavors. What's the best way for our listeners to connect with you or learn more about your services?
You can reach me on Instagram, Joyn Che, JoynChe, or Facebook, Joyn Chase, JoYne or JoYnChe. Also, check out my website, thelocalbookingagency.com, where you can book your future events, learn skills and development, and entrepreneurship. Yep.
Beautiful. Are there any resources, books, or tools you recommend for aspiring entrepreneurs or those looking to improve their financial literacy?
I say, honestly, your resources is Google, ChatGPT.
No way.
Your resources is really just research, YouTube, social media, Reddit, any forums, anything. ChatGPT is a thing now. AI is a thing. You can ask AI anything. Fortunately, Google has always been the ride or die when it came down to search engines. Yahoo. My whole thing is books. I love reading. Interestingly, we don't own a TV. We own a little library bookshelf. Always reading books. Always educating yourself. Self-development books, financial books, dictionaries. Just keeping yourself educated. There's not a limit of education. There's not a limit to learn or knowledge or to teach yourself something every day. Every day you should be learning something. Every day you should be learning something new. There shouldn't be a time where you're vacant in your mind when there's things you can be doing. Like every day, I always think of how I can make money from my phone. What can I do from laying in my bed if I want to lay in my bed, or if I want to go to the museum, or if I want to go to the park? What can I do to share information to others, you know? And then when building their credit and financial literacy, like getting involved with groups, like really applying yourself. Like if this is something that you're serious about, your goals, where you want to be, if you want a house, if you want acres, if you want land, property, if you want property leasing buildings, commercial buildings, franchises, whatever you want, that's on top of what you never thought you could experience. You will start to learn and understand like credit and financial literacy is where it stands, you know? Like once you get that down pack, then you'll understand how money goes, how money flows, where it goes, like how to invest it, and then duplicating it. And then you will love it because you're helping people at that, because now you're excited to tell people about it. It's like Jesus. You know, I don't mean to bring religion into this, but like I've noticed, like, you know, I feel like it's funny. Jesus was like the biggest salesperson I've ever met or ever known or ever heard about. He told everybody, you know, he influenced everybody. He put the word out. Other people seen him. They told him about it. It's all about word of mouth, you know? And so getting involved, putting yourself in their shoes, putting, you know, asking questions. People did. Oh, in high school, I was a teacher's pet. I asked so many questions, and my teacher was like, "We'll just get to it at the end." No, I need to know now. I want to know. I'll write my questions down and ask them because I want to know everything. You know, so you know, yeah, just staying educated. Books as well. Like there's not, like I said, there's not a specific book. You just read. Try to understand. Even if the cat crossed the road, the chicken crossed the road. Why did the chicken cross the road? You know, like try to really think about things as far as like expanding within yourself, making it fun for you. And then also realizing like, hey, like once I'm financially free or once I got my credit and my report's clean, now I can boost or build my credit, and then I can duplicate and then add more debt and then pay it back. Now I understand how it works versus swimming in debt. I know how to manage it.
There you go. And if anything, just contact Che. Just contact a professional, and Che will be there to help you and guide you.
Yes.
And get you where you need to go.
Yes. Well, this was great. Loved it.
Fantastic, Che. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Definitely a great conversation. Do give her a follow at Joyn Che, JOYNCHE, Joyn Che, and contact her today if you're looking for an opportunity.
Yes.
Boom.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much.
Joyn Che is the powerhouse behind the local booking agency that's connecting artists, venues, and fans like never before. More than just booking shows, she's helping artists get legally protected and financially educated, ensuring their careers are built for long-term success. If you're an artist looking for the right stage, legal protection, or financial guidance, this is where it all happens. Follow now for exclusive event updates, industry insights, and resources to protect and grow your career. The next big opportunity is around the corner. Don't miss it.